I have a few questions for you, Sean, if you have some time.
Sure, Andrea. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we're happy to have you. So let's start with the first one. How is peak shipping looking this year?
Peak shipping this year is certainly looking a lot better than it was last year. At OceanX, we monitor their average transit times for our carriers across the board, down to infinite details, such as the average time by state and by fulfillment center. We start this monitoring well before peak to create a baseline. We publish that out to our clients on a weekly basis, but we of course keep a close eye on that ourselves. And we haven't really seen, for the most part, a lot of ripple in the average days to deliver of our outbound product as we're rolling through peak. So this year is looking really, really good.
Great. So I know a lot of this kind of falls under your eye. Can you share some insight into some of the steps OceanX has taken to ensure there's a successful peak shipping program?
Sure. As we rolled out of 2020, and 2020 was a year of all years as far as peak is concerned. One thing that was abundantly clear is that we needed to alter our strategy, right, to develop a multi-carrier portfolio to cover all of the needs of our different clients, right? The days of, once upon a time in the past, I think, logistics operation was purely looked at as a function of operations, right? We want to do this. We want to negotiate it down. We want to have the cheapest possible thing. We don't care what happens in the meantime, right? We look at the logistics operation now as more of a function of client success, because we realize that the performance of this vital aspect of the program really enhances the customer experience, right? So we're going to have some carriers that do a very good job of economical shipping with transit times that they can support, but we also have elevated carrier programs as well that are a little bit more expensive, but have even better transit times. So we've worked really hard to diversify ourselves into that regard, and by going into expedited shipping processes, we're not just talking about the traditional big ones out there, but we're looking at more regional carriers that we've added to our portfolio as well. They kind of fill this void by providing very excellent transit times to some of the greater metropolitan areas at a really good cost. So we've expanded into that direction and support our operations through all these different programs now.
Yay, that's fantastic. So are there any final thoughts you want to share before we wrap this up?
Don't be afraid to share and work in partnership with your 3PL. Let them know what it is that's most important to you in your carrier program, because a successful relationship relies on that communication so that we can develop a program to support what it is that you and your customers want.